Hello, my name is Kim Nguyen. This is Team T, and we will be discussing Marriott International. Please let me take a moment to open up my PowerPoint presentation. Individually distinctive, collectively powerful. I will be introducing my team members, talking about highlights and future prospects. Then Abraham will follow with company history and founders in more detail, product brands, and market analysis. Alejandro will follow with the vision and mission statement and the SWOT analysis. Finally, Rodrigo will end with strategic and competitor analysis. J.W. Marriott was a remarkable man. Now we'll show you a YouTube video about how he began in the lodging industry. Thank you for your patience.
It was the late 50s, and Bill, still fascinated with the automobile, gambled on a new idea.
We decided that with the Pentagon, with 40,000 people working in the Pentagon, and people from all over the world there, and the airport within 5 minutes from us, was an ideal location for a hotel. So that's where we built our first water hotel, we call it.
First hotel we never opened, and so we really didn't know much about it. Bill Jr. and his father and I all been in there working almost all night. We worked on the colors on the walls, and if we didn't like one color, we'd paint the wall over again, try another color. But it was a real thrill.
After we opened Twin Bridges in '57, we opened Key Bridge in '59. The only thing we knew was we had a bridge and we had traffic across the bridge. We did fine in the tourist season in June and April through October, but boy, in the winter we went right down the tubes, and business was so bad that we had to close down the elevators, all except for one, in order to save electricity. It eventually became a very successful hotel. It's been expanded 3 times since we built it.
Over the next 6 years, Marriott developed 8 more hotels, laying the foundation for a new division that would make the Marriott name known throughout the world. The company was growing rapidly in new directions. After 37 years of leadership, Bill Marriott decided it was time to choose a successor.
I knew he was agonizing over it. First of all, I was his son, and that was uncomfortable for him. Secondly, I was only 32 years old and had been with the company 6 years, and although I'd done, I think, a pretty good job, I was inexperienced in many of the areas of the company. And he was a good teacher and taught me a lot, but it was very hard and it was very scary. I mean, if he thought he was nervous, I was twice as nervous. I was scared to death.
Bill Marriott received many awards and honors during his life, but the one he treasured the most was the Private Enterprise Medal from Freedom's Foundation at Valley Forge. In 1970, he organized a special 4th of July celebration to honor America. John Cosgrove was director of the celebration.
Marriott had a tremendous organizational capacity, and it could attract people from all walks of life. Many times the people weren't always the same wavelength or the same ideas that he had, but then that was his genius. He had a bunch of wild horses, and he knew how to handle horses. And he would take the talents of these horses and hold them together and drive them into the way he wanted them to pull whatever load of information he had or whatever spirit he had, whether it was a parade, whether it was inauguration, whether it was on America.
I appreciate all that you've all done in building this great organization, because it is a great organization with a lot of great people, a lot of wonderful people. And I wish I had time to shake every one of your hands and tell you how much I appreciate what you have done. We got a great morale in this company all through these years. Like a big family. And it's a real big family now, but we hope there's still a family and a family spirit. We hope that you still feel that you belong to the Marriott family. There's no thrill greater than to see a bellboy out in front of a hotel 1 year and come back a couple, 3 years later and find him a manager. I tell our people all the time that success is never final, and it isn't. It's a lot easier sometimes to get to the top than it is to stay there. I've always had obstacles, always worked hard to overcome them. Everybody says no to me, that's when I start to fight. You know, two great words in English language, work and pray. And anybody that works and prays hard enough, he's going to go to the top if he's in the right place. I always worry about today. I don't think about the past too much. Tomorrow's going to be great. I wish I could live another 20 years and see what's going to happen. There's going to be a great, great future 20 years from now.
Now I'll go back to the PowerPoint presentation. Just take 1 minute. So as you saw from the video, Marriott breathed, ate, lived, and dreamed about his business. No matter how big it got, he still visited all the hotels and met with his employees. And even after he retired, he was still involved with Marriott. Alice Sheets was his wife and business partner. She was very smart and had business sense. She attended college when she was only 16 years old. Bill Marriott Jr. was his eldest son. He was a visionary leader. He was the one responsible for making Marriott International into the powerhouse it is today, and he was considered a hands-on manager. Marriott is the #1 hospitality company worldwide. They recently achieved that vision through the Starwood acquisition, but it all began on May 20th, 1927 with a 9-seat A&W root beer stand. It was the same day that Charles Lindbergh began his transatlantic flight. In 1973, the company split into Marriott International and Host Marriott International. Marriott International focuses on licensing and franchising properties, and Host Marriott International owns the properties. It is also led by his younger brother. From 1986 to 2011, one company, many brands is what drove Marriott. They grew exponentially. They acquired many major hotel brands and companies, and they also developed internally their own brands. In 2012, Arne Sorensen becomes CEO and therefore ends the family involvement with the company after 90 years. The focus today is on technology and innovation, which I will go over in the next few slides. Recent developments in 2016 was a consolidation of loyalty programs. They currently have 3. Also, they acquired Starwood. They also recently expanded the Tribute brand into Europe. And on November 2nd, they focus on Amsterdam, and then November 3rd, Latin America is where they have the largest revenue per available room. Here's a graphic summarizing their portfolio of brands. They have 2 general lines, classic and distinctive. Within the classic and distinctive major segments, there's luxury, premium, select, and longer stay. Now I'm going to show you a series of videos that really highlights that each brand, even though they have 31 brands of hotels now, each brand is very distinct.
At JW Marriott, our staff is trained by the Joffrey Ballet. So even grilled artichokes come with a side of grace. That's the JW treatment.
Eye-opening. Life-changing. That's how travel should be. So we're creating an experience that revolves around you, with new ways to connect and disconnect. An app that puts you in charge. And the opportunity to turn your every desire into our next big thing. Travel is a journey. Let's go together. Marriott. Travel brilliantly.
Hey, angel, I see a sparkle in your eye. You got that look like you could show me paradise. I wanna get to know you, see what you can do. 'Cause I gotta get the feeling about me and you. So come on, don't be shy. I promise I won't mind. Won't you take a seat? I won't take no for an answer. Hello, you wanna know my name? I'll be nice to meet you. These roads drive me insane. They got my body moving. I can't take that beat out of my pain. It flows right down through my veins. The speaker high, my body plays. Hello, do you wanna know my name? Hello, do you wanna know my name? I'm trying to meet you. You wanna know my name? Hello, you wanna know my name?
Drinking in the city. Cruising in the city. Yes, international movement superstar. Original rude boy man some sound. Big up to my side. Good times when the baseline folks penetrate your face, but always side to side. Move your body from your legs to your waistline. Pay no mind to no space and time. Gonna play all day into the street light shine. What you know when it's you and your crew, acting cool, feeling cool, it's just you and you. Come on. Everybody feeling good like I think they should. Make a move, make a rise, and it's understood. It's alright now. It's all good. If everybody in the spot, keep alive, make it hot, don't stop, y'all. To the beat drop, it's alright now. It's all good. Here we go. If everybody feeling good like I think they should, make a move, make a rise, and it's understood. It's alright now. It's all good. If everybody in the spot, keep alive, make it hot, don't stop, y'all. To the beat drop, it's alright now. It's all good. Here we go.
So I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint presentation. Be one moment. So as you can see, there is a broad range of the different brands. It started off with being very elegant with JW Marriott and the luxury line. Love What You Do Even More. Then it went into Travel Brilliantly, and you saw some of the technology that they've invested in. Marriott by Courtyard and Moxie Hotels, those videos had a lot of oomph and pizzazz in them. And then the Residence Inn Marriott, which is the longer stay. They do have other revenue streams besides hotels. They have vacation resorts, residential and corporate stays, and conference centers. Disney makes up a large portion of the market share at 54%, but Disney's a special company. Their research and development cannot be met, or their brand loyalty. They're also involved in other businesses besides lodging. So with them taken out, Marriott is the leader at 15% of the market, followed by Lowe's at 14%, Hilton at 11%, and Wyndham at 6%. The revenue per segment, most of the revenue comes from the premium brands at 41%. Select is followed by 35%, and longer stays at 19%. Luxury is only 5%. And these statistics are from the mid-year financials from the Marriott website. So in conclusion, I think that Marriott has a strong, sustainable, competitive advantage. There's three main areas that I want to talk about. The first one is service. They have superior loyalty programs. I think that's very important because now that they have so much of the market, it kind of reminds me of Starbucks. They want repeat business. And so when they have superior loyalty programs, that helps ensure that. It's also more beneficial for guests that have the loyalty program to book direct with Marriott. And as I told you earlier in the presentation, they have consolidated the 3 loyalty programs to make it easier to capitalize on the benefits. The second main point is employee training. As you saw in the beginning, they really invest in their employees. With the JW Marriott video, they go above and beyond. They realize that body language is very important. At Ritz-Carlton, they had changed the way that they speak to the guests because it was too formal. And so now they're into more of a personalized experience and a more laid-back dress code. They also are strong in supply chain. Avendra was a company that Marriott had developed in response to concern that they were going to lose their bargaining power. They have a majority interest in there. And also, Avendra does not only supply Marriott, they supply some other major hotel chains. They also are focused on sustainable sourcing. Again, it reminds me of Starbucks because they have so many properties that they need to supply. They have been trying to, first of all, support the relationships with the vendors and try to get recycled material from them first, if they offer it, and to build sustainable buildings, solar-powered hotels, and trying to reduce waste in the beginning, so reduce, reuse, and recycle. A third strong point is their technology and innovation, which is the focus currently from 2012 to current. So they do have a direct reservation site, which it is beneficial if you are a loyalty program member to use that and book with them directly. It saves them a lot of money. They have the mobile application that was shown in the video. You can check in and check out and request things immediately. Meetings Imagined is an application for meeting planners. Revenue for meetings, including rooms, make up 51% of Marriott's revenue. And Total Yield is a software that they've developed to capitalize and help sales staff be able to maximize revenue by determining a price for rooms, to be able to negotiate better with meeting planners and be able to use the inventory and occupancy rate and other factors involved to be able to get data on not just on all revenue, not just from the meeting itself, but from the rooms and food and beverage or any department where revenue can be generated from the meetings. I think the future prospects for Marriott is very strong. I'll talk about a few points. It looks like a lot, but I think that there's a lot of positive prospects. I mean, there's a lot of, advantages that Marriott has. Externally, travel and tourism makes up a lot of the GDP, and it's very strong right now. The company started off with a very solid family foundation. Like I said, in 2012, Arne Sorensen became CEO. Before that, for 90 years, had been in the family. So they have very strong work ethic, values, and they've always treasured their employees and valued their employees. They continue to have distinct markets. They have many brands, but as you saw from each video, it's very different, from the luxury to long-term stays. Some travelers want more luxurious settings and service, and others want more reliability and comfortability and being able to not have to ask for services, but to have them already presented there. They have a really strong brand loyalty. Again, with their loyalty programs, it's superior. They just don't have good loyalty programs, it's superior. They have stable revenue with growth. Their type of business plan, since they license and franchise, they have steady revenue. So they're not able to capitalize on a good economy, but if it's a bad economy, they're still making money. And so they can grow right now, again, since a lot of news has happened actually with Marriott. So they've grown a lot. It's like, again, I always make a comparison to Starbucks because their hotel brands are everywhere and they have a lot of brands. So if they're not able to grow that way, they're able to grow with their efficient supply chain. They're able to cut costs to supply the hotels. And they're able to maximize revenue with the Total Yield software, which they developed even when the economy was bad because they knew it was necessary. They've always been an innovative leader. They were the first to begin in the lodging industry. They opened the first motel. They're able to deliver consistent service even though they franchise. And they have so much presence globally that if you're a frequent traveler, you would pick Marriott because of the consistency, because of the brand loyalty or the loyalty programs, and you know the name. So I think that Marriott will continue to be an industry leader. The only threats that I see is they are having problems with terrorism in their hotels. And as far as legislation could affect their revenue. But I believe that they have so much presence in different areas of the world that it would be offset. If there was a negative impact, it would be offset by the other hotels. I'm going to leave you with a picture of JW Marriott in front of the Hot Shops restaurant. I wasn't able to go into that because of the time constraints. But this was the first franchise that he had bought. And this is a direct quote from him. He said, "Take care of associates and they'll take care of your customers." So next up is Abraham. He's going to be talking more about the company history and founders, the product brands, and the market analysis. So I just gave you a brief overview. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.